Max B. I was on stage. Max B to me is like the Black Elvis of hip hop.
Let's
I
do
was
some
just
research,
happy,
bro.
yo. When he came home, yo, that was so dope to see him come home and like I was in the studio with him the first, the first studio session, and he really wasn't even making music at that. He just went in there to listen to shit, and French was playing shit for him. Shouts out to French Montana, man.
All right, so bro, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing over there in the UK?
I would say I'm good, bro. Great to have you again. Third time on the channel.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to be rocking with my guy Coldlimb.
Obviously, you've done interviews like in between them too, cause you have
That
you was
but
on a rollout tour. I would see for crash out, pass out stuff like this.
oh yeah, yeah, man, that was a wonderful time right there. Crash out, pass out. Shouts out to Benny Boy Rule, Drip God.
And obviously, you've been on tour in a sense. You know what I mean? Cause you do get booked a lot. Um, Very busy, bro. But I'm saying, like, as a performing artist, what do you notice the more frequent that you show up?
What do I notice the most? Everywhere I go, people is with it, yo. You know what I'm saying? They definitely jacking what we doing. You know what I mean? Um, Shouts out to Food for Thought. He got us on just taking the vocals out of the songs and just having the hooks in it so we can really get our point across and we really connect with the crowd when we perform without the vocals in the background for the verse and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really us.
So
So that right there, it really helps us connect with the crowds when we perform it and they respect it.
obviously, I know that you did a song with Food for Thought, which was the eyes. Damn,
Eyes on the prize.
yeah, eyes on the prize, bro. Very introspective cut. One of your best. I would put it like definitely in your top five for release songs that you have.
Made that song
Um,
out. I was going through some shit when I made that song. That's why it's so surreal and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, that's where the
And
introspection comes from. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, going through something and you make some music, man. It really that pain goes into the music and then it translates and the listeners really feel it, but they don't really understand. Sometimes you be going through some shit, but that's life, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy, and every time I listen to that song, I'll be like, wow, that shit is deep. See, you got the guitars in the back. I ain't know you knew how to play the guitar, bro.
Bro, I do not. I
Oh,
can
you
play
learned?
like four chords on that thing, and it sound good.
Well,
I feel like I'm better
well,
at the bass, to be fair. This one right here.
your songs, you start with chords anyway, so you just, you know what I'm saying? It's just another thing to start your songs with.
Yeah. Obviously, like we have since the last interview that we did, which is actually one of my most viewed videos on the channel. That sits at
Word.
like above 900 views.
Wow, people is rocking with us, huh?
Yeah. We have been again since we've been putting out even more music from that time. I believe we was passed off the phone. It would have been 2024. So all the releases that we had in 2025. So I feel we would talk about a late 2024 with like the Sweet Project where you was on Choice of Influence, Sweet Liver Reverie of Mine. You know what I mean? Songs like this.
I remember when we did your first tape, that shit was crazy. Like the sounds on there, like you had me going crazy. Like, yo, I was surprised at how the music was sounding like. And then you told me how you start your music. Like when you start creating, you start with the chords. I was like, wow, that's like total opposite of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Starting with the chords, but that's how you get that sound that you got. Respect.
Well, with the chords, it's really pulling from jazz and R&B influences. I
Well,
feel
I
like
start with the chords. You really pulling on emotions and you get a feeling before you even start putting the drums and everything else in it.
yeah, and as long as you know the technique, it can actually really like it can give you soul in a sense. Um,
Well, you study soul, man. That's another
yeah,
thing about study music, man. It ain't like you just, you know what I mean, you be listening. Like you done told me about artists that I'm like, whoa, you listen to them, you way over there. That's crazy. But music is deep, man, and you really study it.
I when I actually listen to the music that you put out, I actually prefer these songs that have these type of chords. You know what I mean? Like the ones that you put out for Valentine's Day was dope to me.
Shouts out to fucking my guy, fucking Ed the Barber with that one, man. Listen, when I heard the song, it just sounded like I'm supposed to talk to a female on it. Had the little guitars and shit, stringing, drumming along. I was like, yo, this is definitely for the ladies right here. And it just so happens it was starting the year off. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna drop this on Valentine's Day. You the best. What
That's a
girl don't
really
want to
good song, bro.
girl
Um,
don't want
even just when we're talking about these R&B influences that we might have, these old soul records that we might have been influenced by.
Well, that's
What
a funny. I was listening to those when I was young. Like my uncle just used to have all the R&B records, and I just used to listen to them and put them on the big wooden turntable, record player and shit, and just sit there and look at the covers and listen to the music. So it's like kind of instilled in me.
that's what I'm saying though. Is like which ones of those records was the ones that was giving you the most influence that you might even pull out for your own production.
Oh man, the Ohio players, Rick James, Isaac Hayes, Cool in the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, Prince, shit like that, man. Stevie Wonder. Oh, yeah.
What I notice about some of them artists is like big impact, of course. You talk about Prince and you talk about Earth, Wind and Fire, all of the Stevie Wonder. But what I notice is that, especially from an Isaac Hayes, these people would put out songs longer than like even 5 minutes, and it would
Yeah,
just be the whole album.
times it's changed. But that gave us a lot to work with here and now.
Mm. You saying that's like good for sampling and stuff like this?
What? Excellent for sampling. The
Thanks.
best.
Um,
And just go study and listen to and see how the changes up, how the change ups is and how they connect it all together. Because they're not playing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They change it up and it just gives you an idea of chord progression. You know what I'm saying? Linking different strings together and different patterns together, how to change ups and the drummer. Oh, give the drummer some.
what do you think that the intention was though when it came to dropping these long songs before everybody was sampling?
Well, I think it was more about immersing the listener into a whole realm versus, like back in the days, we didn't have all this fast forward to the next track and this quick consumption that we had back in the days. They designed those songs for you to sit down in front of the record player and look at the covers because the artwork, some of them had books for the album cover. You know what I'm saying? A couple of pictures so you could sit there and listen to the music and look at they had the words, the lyrics, crazy artwork. So it was like immersing you into a whole experience. And it really couldn't have a experience if it was short. You know what I'm saying? So it was a vibe.
It was more like physical copies rather than
Yeah,
digital plays. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Even
man.
though it might do well, like in the big 2026, it had to open doors for people to be like, I want this as a product.
Right. You had something you could hold in your hand, physically hold in your hand, versus today where everything is digital and you really can't grasp it or hold it in your hand. You can hold your phone, but you don't actually have something in your hand per se.
Yeah.
I mean, you got merch now, but back then they had merch too. But we didn't have the fast forward and the next track and skipping the whole song and shit like that. You had to listen to the whole shit. And you had it on the tape. You had to listen to that whole tape. So that whole tape had to be fire. Because
Did you ever
you know,
take these records and use them when you're actually performing as a DJ?
Oh yes, it depends what type of party it is. Like when I do cookouts and shit like that in the summertime, and I'm playing for older crowds, I be having them go crazy because I be playing all them old joints because I'm familiar with those songs. And like I said before, there's still yo. The crazy thing is there's still a vibe. You know what I'm saying? To this day. And a lot of them are like time machines because you play that old shit, you bring them old people or older people back to a time when they was listening to this shit, when they were younger. So it's like music's incredible, man. It's it can take you places.
What would you say, like, if you bring it to this current generation? What is the songs or the artists that are being requested to you the most?
It depends who I'm playing for. Like I said, like if it's an older crowd, they like to hear the older music. But if it's a newer crowd, they like to hear the newer artists that are popular on the radio because well, it ain't even about the radio no more. It's just like whoever has got enough money to be put in front of people and they're requesting it. But they're also making their own genres. Like I say like 2 or 3 years ago, Jersey music was getting requested a lot. And that was more or less like they would take songs and sample them in. It was like drum and bass to a certain extent, but it was more suited for dancing and twerking and shit like that. And they would just loop certain parts, certain words, and you know what I mean? That was like 2 or 3 years ago, but now I can't even say right now. Music's in a weird place as far as like what people request because it's more personalized. You can have one person come ask for one song and then somebody else will come. They'll all ask for different songs.
Hmm. Can you name us like some artists that you have heard though? Like when it comes to can you play this person?
Chris Brown,
Hmm.
Chris Breezy,
That's a fair enough answer. To be fair, that's an old generation to me, bro. You're talking about like
always
'90s, 2000s, 2010s, right now.
scissor, scissor. People ask to hear her a lot. You even got people asking for Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people asking for Kendrick Lamar and Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Was you
So,
going crazy with that when it came to like the when they was doing the diss tracks back and forth? They was like, you got to do it in this order.
well, I played them. I played them because that was what everybody was listening to. So that was definitely a way you could connect with the crowd is by playing those songs because they were in heavy rotation, and you know what I'm saying. And that's the thing about DJing. As far as like going with requests, people are gonna request whatever's promoted the most.
Facts. Like
It cash and they still gonna request it.
the biggest song back then when we talk about that is the Not Like Us, the that one.
Mm, yeah, that shit went triple, quadruple, sixtillion platinum.
It took him to the Super Bowl. Jay Z
Yeah,
just said that that wasn't the reason that he chose him for the Super Bowl. He just chose him for the Monster Year. But the Monster Year came off the fact that it was the diss tracks.
well, that leads me to another question. Do you think that a song is dope because on its own merit, or is it because it has so much money behind
So that song specifically.
it? I'm just saying on a whole, like it's tough for me to understand if a song is dope because it's on its own merit versus a song is dope because it has billions of dollars behind it and it's put in front of everybody's face.
Well,
Because I always hear songs that nobody heard before, and I be thinking they're dope, but they don't have that budget that certain songs have behind them.
it's
And
a
I
good
think if
question.
it did, it might be just as good as the song that did have millions of dollars behind it, billions of dollars behind it.
Yeah. The way that I would answer that though is like you have to have a good product to make people care about the thing that you put in front of them either way. Um, you would have to like, cause it's hard to actually get a hit in the big like 20s decade with everything being so digital. The fact that the number one song from last year was "Golden" from K-pop Demon Hunters, and it wasn't really like we haven't seen so much rap be at number one recently. It's like that was promoted by a movie versus a TikTok or Instagram.
Right, right. Well, I feel like music's in a real strange place right now because it seems like the labels and all these billions of dollars aren't behind the music like it was before with rap music, you know what I'm saying? And with the algorithm being the way it is, it's more or less giving you what you want now versus giving you what it thinks you want. Or should I say, giving you what got the dollars behind
Mm. Did you are like talking about them getting playlisted? You're talking about them being promoted, of course, and obviously that's
it.
a big help. It's just an industry in that sense, though.
Yes, it is.
And I feel even with Kendrick Lamar, though, I don't feel it was as
Not,
butted as the Drake fans would like to say it is. You know what I mean? That was just big motion, reactor after
yeah,
reaction after reaction.
I felt he was talented though. Don't get it twisted. I felt he was talented. Like he got his own style and shit, and he was saying some shit.
It was
Man made it with it. So, I don't take nothing from him, but it's a lot of artists out here like that.
that's just the
But
West
he been
Coast, bro. He had the hyphy beat with produced by DJ Mustard.
yeah.
Did you watch the pop out when it happened?
What you talking about? The Super Bowl shit?
No, the performance that he had with like where Tyler the Creator showed up. You had all these West Coast artists. You had like 50 people on one stage, or I'd even say up to 100. Big Boy
Nah,
was there.
I ain't catch that. It was crazy.
Yeah, massive. He played that song like 5 times in one row, bro. With Dr. Dre
What?
announcing it.
I know they was going crazy. That was probably mad dope show and shit.
It was a good moment, great moment. 2024 was a good year for pop culture.
But where are we now?
2026, like, what do I think of the pop culture here?
I think it's more leading towards what's that new genre that came out? It's like heavy from Africa.
Afrobeat.
Yeah, Afrobeat. I
That's been
think
around for a
that
while.
yeah, but it's predominant now. Like
Yeah.
they're really
I mean, UK
they've
had it
been
though. UK had this.
UK had drill. They started drill.
We started like the way that Pop Smoke would do drill, but
hmm
Chicago drill was a whole different wave. Started from like the likes of a Chief Keef.
True. Shouts out to Chief Keef.
What was the last concert that you had attended?
Let's see. What was the last? Max B. I was on stage. Shouts out to Max B. Big Belly in the building. You know what I'm saying? Boss dog.
I feel Max B was like one of the old school. Yeah, I want to say West Coast artist.
Yo, Max B to me is like the Black Elvis of hip hop.
Damn.
No
What's your favorite song by Max B?
Oh man, I got a few of them. Oh damn. I was doing time, still steady doing crime. That shit. So refreshing. Classic. So refreshing. Classic. Tinkerville, where the fuck you been? That's my shit right there. I ain't seen him do that song yet, man. I want to see him do that shit.
Ah, bro, I hate when that happens. I'd seen
What?
Jeremiah come out with 50 Cent, and I was like, day one of asking Jeremiah to perform Remember Me. And then it got to he saw the story, but he never actually performed it in his set.
What he did that song they got together? Was it Grind on Me or some shit like that?
I feel they did everything They did everything that
That
him and 50 Cent have done.
okay, but he
But
didn't
I
do a
was wrong with
song.
my knowledge on Max B. There, I said he was a West Coast artist. He's actually East Coast,
East Coast, man.
Harlem.
All all of you know what I'm saying?
As to
I
do
was
some
just
research,
happy,
bro.
yo. I remember when he came home, yo, that was so dope to see him come home and like I was in the studio with him the first, you know, what I'm saying the first studio session, and he really wasn't even making music at that. He just went in there to listen to shit, and French was playing shit for him. Shouts out to French Montana, man, and just to be in that room was amazing, bro. I was like, yo, am I here? That shit was crazy. And to see how he doing now and doing all the stuff that he doing, man. Listen, I am so happy for bro, man. That's fire. Like, he's doing his thing right now. Definitely an inspiration.
Mm. So would you say like when you have people come in on studio sessions or they are hearing your music in like platforms, um, this is something that you have to take on now because you found yourself as an A&R for R&B.
Yeah, I got a lot of artists around me making dope music, so yeah, and I kind of got an ear for it because I'm a DJ too. So it's like I think that's eventually where I'm gonna wind up going. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I can do to get my name as big as I can, and then try to help other artists. That's like, you know, one of the second goals in my quest for greatness is to help other people become great because I see the greatness in them. Like you, for instance, you're one of the people that I see greatness in.
I appreciate you, bro.
We just gotta get the world to hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Is the A&R position still something that you're in? Like, because I know that you had the opportunity in 2025.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I think I'm A&R as I move along with what I'm doing. Cause when I work with an artist, I don't just work with them one song. Like most of the people that I work with, like we do projects, and I believe doing the projects is better than doing one song, and it'll get more eyes on you versus one song. So when I work with an artist, I try to do a whole project with them. You know what I'm saying? So you can see all types of different assets, facets of that artist. You know what I'm saying? Different sides of them with the music.
The A&R position that you had in September of 2025, was this just for the like a special event that had taken place? Because I know that you was doing promotion for that.
Oh yeah, that was with this promoter that I started working with. But we kind of went separate ways after that, but I'm still into A&R and I think I'm still doing A&R
Yeah,
work because I always help all types of artists that are around me. And I think that's kind of what an A&R does. He gets you into those rooms or gets you into those shows where you can be heard by the right people, you know? So I think even though I went separate ways, I'm still an A&R
you feel like you
because
was
I think A&R is just getting people to hear your music, the right people.
yeah. You feel like you was just building like a good resume in that sense for bigger
Yeah,
opportunities.
I learned a lot about A&R because I kind of was doing it before that, but I didn't know that's what an A&R does. And once you know I got the label of A&R, I started doing research and learning more about it. And I was like, oh, I've been doing
Mm.
it. So it's like I'm an A&R that's an artist at the same time, so I have more insight on both sides of the whole spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Coming from an artist point of view and coming from the A&R point of view.
What is your next goal?
To try to put out as many projects as I can. Like right now, I have one, two, three, four, possibly five projects. I'm put no, probably six projects that I want to do this year. I got a lot of the music done. I'm working with an artist in Boston. His name is um Freddie Freddie Laps. I got an artist named um Chief Loud Cloud in Arkansas. I'm doing a project with. I got the project with GV. I also have a project with Rue, and I got a solo project. And the sixth one is the one I was talking about with you. Like we definitely gonna put another project out this year. So
Hey,
I'm just trying to put out as much music as possible, and I believe I can do it because I got a lot of the music already. It's a it's a it's a lot that I want to do this year, and I believe I can do it because I have a lot of the music done already. It's just like I gotta just get these artists on these features and we put the projects out. Like I said, I'm not doing singles. I want to do projects on a single level. You know how you do mad singles with different artists. I want to do mad projects with different artists
yeah,
instead
bro.
of just one. Oh yeah, I can't forget. I'm supposed to do another project with well not another, but our first project with High Flogan from Connecticut. That's another artist I'm doing a project with. We got like 4 songs already. So I'm waiting on him to send me a couple of songs to hop on and that'll be done. So yeah, my goal this year is to drop at least 6 projects.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years, bro?
10 years, helping a lot of other artists get where they gotta go because with all these projects I'm doing, I'm gonna learn a lot of shit. So this knowledge may be able to help other artists get where they want to go. You know, maybe in 10 years for me doing all these projects can have artists on the same shit instead of trying to do one song with somebody. They do whole projects with people. Or maybe we might be on to something whole new way of doing music. I did a collaboration last year and we made sure we shot videos, even if it was mic drop videos, to most of the songs, and it really got a lot of traction. So now this year, I'm gonna just double down on that. I got a lot of artists that came and wanted to work with me, a lot of producers that came and wanted to work with me. So I'm just gonna try to 6x the work this year.
You obviously understand a lot about the industry itself. I know that every time that I will put a song out with you, it'll end up being one of my like most streamed songs. Specifically, "Call Me" when I came out.
Oh, me too. I wasn't even really on that. I was just talking on that one right there. I was just doing the DJ thing. You giving me direction. I was just talking on it.
But I'm saying, bro,
But I
that's gonna be a big field for you to get in when, like, by the 10 years that we were just talking to. You know what I mean? These projects are gonna get even bigger names for them through that process.
but think about when they start going and doing their research and going back and they go to like call me because that was kind of like our first song we ever put out together. It wasn't it.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. I know there's
I mean,
stuff
we
on
had
SoundCloud that they could find.
we never put them out. I still got them too. What was it? You went by the name H. That was our first song. But yeah, bro, like you helped me a lot because you come from a different like your shit is more R&B and shit. So I never really worked as close as I've worked with an R&B artist as I have with you. So it just gave me a whole nother lane to jump into and it made me realize who I was as an artist. Because I'm a DJ, so I'm always listening to all types of music. But when I started working with you and doing music with you, and then I went back to what I was doing, it made me realize what I'd like to do and what I'm good at. And you helped me a lot too because you gave me a lot of critique on what was going on. And sometimes that's what you need. You need somebody who's really gonna listen to your music and see potential in you and communicate that with you. A lot of artists don't have that, so I think that's something I'm gonna be doing as years go by too, and give people direction because that's kind of what you gave me.
You help me in the same way, bro. Especially with like when it comes to logistics and stuff like this, or analytics. I appreciate you. Obviously, thank you for coming on. That is like that's the end, bro. That's a wrap. I appreciate you for giving me your time.
No doubt, man. Listen, when is this going up, man? I want to see this shit, man. We gotta share this shit. We gotta let the world see this, man.
The only answer I have is ASAP.
All right, man. Let me just give a few shout outs before we slide out. You
Go
know what I'm
ahead, bro.
saying? All right. I want to give a shout out to Benny Boy Rude, aka Grind Season.
Go.
aka Extended Fam, Big Rude. Shouts out to Food for Thought. Shouts out to NH Brooklyn. Shouts out to High Slogan. Shouts out to Freddie Lat. Shouts out to Chief Loud Cloud. Shouts out to Chris Cartel. Shouts out to my man over in the Bronx, fucking ATM Tech. Shouts out to Splash Studio. Shouts out to Cheesy Dior. Shouts out to Max B. Shouts out to fucking damn B Wild. What's up, B Wild? Salute. Shouts out to French Montana. Appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, letting me witness greatness. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? Um, damn man, if I ain't say your name, hold up. Let's see. Shouts out to Knuckles. Shouts out to KP the specialist. Shouts out to damn man. If I ain't forget you, if I forgot you, man, I still got love for you, man. It's a lot of people that I know and
Very
shit.
long
You know,
list of people there, bro.
it's a most of those people I just named are people I'm gonna be doing projects with. So shouts out to y'all, and if I forgot you, I still love you. We around. Salute.
All right, bro. I appreciate you.
Come on, man. Listen, prayers. You already know. Grind season.